Hi, I'm Joanna Fantozzi, Associate Editor with Nation's Restaurant News, and we're here with Geoff Henry, President of Jamba. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Awesome. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So, could you just quickly get us caught up on where Jamba stands at around the 1 year mark, 13-month mark of the pandemic and moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll actually back up maybe even a little bit even before that because just for everyone's benefit, again, Jamba was acquired by Focus Brands in kind of late 2018, and I joined at the helm here in early 2019. So it's been a little over 2 years since my team and I have had a chance to kind of work on the brand transformation. And we were really fortunate that we started making a lot of investments, particularly in digital in 2019. So in 2019, we launched a new mobile app, a new e-commerce enabled websites. We rolled out third-party delivery and first-party delivery and a whole new loyalty platform. So we were fortunate that we had all that kind of completed by the end of 2019, which really served us well as into the pandemic, which we went from effectively 1% of our sales were coming in online at the beginning of 2019. And then by April of 2020, a month after we got into COVID, we were north of 20%, close to 25 to 30%, depending upon the day for digital sales. So we saw dramatic increase and shift in our business into the digital environment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. So before we get into speaking specifically about digital, I'd love to talk a little bit about your new menu direction. How do you feel the new menu items kind of represents Jamba's brand refresh?
Yeah, it's definitely part of our long-term strategy. So at a high level, our strategy on the brand to kind of help drive relevance was around the digital investments I just spoke to, the menu evolution. So the menu evolution is about kind of a broader offering for more plant-based solutions, as well as lower sugar solutions. And then the third part of our strategy is around our branding and our store design. But specifically on the menu and the most recent launch with our kind of sandwiches, with the Impossible and the Classic and the Egg Bake, they're off to a really good start. And for us, Jamba is the leader in smoothies, juices, and bowls, and we always will be. But we're excited to now have kind of more complete solutions for a guest. So they can come in now, get like a 16-ounce smoothie plus an Impossible sandwich and have kind of a nice small meal with well balanced with kind of protein, carbs, and overall kind of other nutritional benefits, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D. So it just makes us more relevant for more need states and more occasions for our guests.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure, and kind of just expanding your offerings as well.
Absolutely.
And so switching to technology then a bit, could you kind of walk me through the new app and what are your goals with this new digital direction?
Yeah, so Jamba has always been a brand that's kind of about kind of access and convenience. We're an on-the-go brand. Our stores are fairly small. They're not designed for people to come in and hang out for too long. And as we kind of have invested more in digital, we're making it even easier for the guests to order ahead and come in and pick up and go. So we're kind of excited about that transformation. We've made investments in our store design. We've added kind of grab and go coolers. Within the app itself, we've made it very easy for guests to kind of navigate across the variety of categories we participate in. So smoothies, bowls, juices, now food. We've got grab and go snacks. And obviously we bring it all together and do some suggestive sells at the end of the experience as well in case guests didn't know that we had now breakfast or sandwiches to offer before they check out. We can encourage them to try one of our new offerings to go with their smoothie.
Hmm. Seems like that kind of boils down to like customer convenience and variety.
Absolutely. I mean, we are all about kind of convenience. We pride ourselves in our speed of service. So the enhancements on the app help that kind of flow into the in-store experience to kind of help kind of process those orders faster, which is great for our guests. And then again, to your point on the wider array of our menu offerings so that we can satisfy more guests wherever they are on their own personal wellness journey.
Hmm. And so the revamped loyalty program then, how do you think that stands out and what direction do you see that going in?
Yeah, I'm really excited about my Jamba Rewards, which is what we call our loyalty platform. We've been growing kind of new members week over week. We just kind of surpassed 2 million active members, and we relaunched that whole new program in the end of June of 2019. So it's been less than 2 years. And even during the pandemic, we added another new million members. And it's great because it allows us to build a stronger relationship with the guest. You know, we can understand what their preferences are in terms of what products they're buying, what categories they're interested in, perhaps kind of what day parts or days of the week. And so we can reach out to them with messages and offers that really speak well to their interests. And it helps them, you know, create more value with us by perhaps now they're going to come in 3 times a month versus 2 times because we created a nice offer or a program for them to kind of partake in. So it's just a great additional mechanism for us to build up a relationship with our guest.
Mm-hmm. And I think that that's sort of the name of the game now is customization and personalization, because customers want to know that you know them and you know kind of what they want, and they don't want to just be seen as like kind of cookie cutter guest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're a made to order concept, right? While we make smoothies, juices, and bowls, a lot of our guests want to make substitutions, right? Maybe somebody doesn't want to have 2% milk. They want to use oat milk. Perhaps they have a dietary restriction. And so we certainly pride ourselves on having those different offerings and substitutions available. And to your point, we want to be what the guest is seeking out and provide the customization options to enable that, either in store or online, so that the guest has a great experience.
Mm-hmm. And now since launching or relaunching the app and loyalty program, you've seen a huge jump in digital sales. Are you surprised at this, and how will this kind of inform Jamba's strategy moving forward?
Surprised in terms of the speed at which the transition occurred. So we certainly anticipated that our mix of sales within digital was going to continue to rise at a pretty good clip. But obviously, with the pandemic across the entire industry, people saw, you know, some exponential growth for those that already had the capabilities in place. So for us, it just accelerated some of the migration that we expected to happen over time. And now we're seeing new behaviors in terms of the ways that guests are using the app, you know, the day part analysis that we can see in terms of what people are adding into their purchases throughout different times of the day. So I think it just accelerated the future, to be quite honest. I don't think we're going to go back to where we were. I think it's, you know, things that are more convenient for all of us tend to stick. And for those who might have been a little bit slower on the adoption of doing digital ordering, be it on a mobile phone or a website or even through a third-party site, I think, you know, by having greater trial, a lot of these behaviors are going to stick. And it'll be great for us, you know, to continue to see more in-store traffic come back into the stores as COVID restrictions come down across the country here in the months ahead. But I think the adoption of digital and digital transactions is going to maintain where it's at.
And something we always like to ask is, what is on your to-do list this year, and what's on your wish list moving forward in the further future for the brand?
To-do list for this year. Well, you know, again, I think we are very excited about kind of all the investments we've been making into the brand. And we were kind of really hitting our stride back in February of 2020. And so I'm most enthusiastic kind of for the balance of this year as markets start to reopen, is for many more guests to kind of see kind of the new Jamba in terms of not only kind of what we're doing within our menu and some of our marketing, but actually our physical stores as well. So we're opening up a bunch of the new Jambas with the new look. We're also remodeling dozens of our Jambas across the country. And they're all kind of even more contemporary with a lot of the convenience factors that you and I discussed. So I'm excited to kind of see even more of our portfolio reflect kind of where the brand is headed throughout 2021. And then in terms of what's next or kind of what else I'm thinking about, there's so much growth opportunity for this brand. It's a fantastic brand. Our guests love Jamba. We're fortunate that many guests come in multiple times per week. And so we have the ability to be kind of creative and nimble on our menu innovation. But I think there's also ways for us to get Jamba into hundreds, if not thousands of more locations here across the US in the next couple of years. And that's kind of in our existing real estate formats. So we're doing kiosks, we have street side, we have drive-throughs. Now we have co-brands with other focus brands like a Jamba, Auntie Anne's co-brand. And we're also experimenting in kind of robotic kiosks. So you might actually have, a robotic Jamba being serviced by an existing franchisee that can get us into more outlets within closer reach of our guests.
Oh, wow. Are those robotic kiosks out yet?
We have our first pilot. Yes, it started back in December of 2020 up in Northern California. Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a self-contained unit. It's about 8 feet by 8 feet, and you can get a variety of Jamba smoothies, and you can have it made to order on your phone or right there at the kiosk. And again, it's fully automatic. It's fully automated. It's robotic, and it's highly convenient. So all the things that you and I talked about, and it's again being kind of serviced by one of our existing franchisees that has a full store not too far down the road. So it allows us to get even closer to the guests where they kind of work, live, and play.
Convenient and also cuts down some labor pressures.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, great. I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for speaking to me today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. This was great. Thanks so much, Joanne.